It's like they had like two stories going on, like two scripts, and they erased some parts and then just mixed the scripts in with each other.
Hey, toss a coin to your Witcher! Hey, everybody, welcome to another amazing episode of Unhinged Boys FX, and today we watched The Witcher. Sirens Deep, right? I already forgot. We just watched it. Yes, coin to your Witcher. I'm just gonna put this over here until we use it later.
We're gonna give a quick summary.
A quick summary of the plot, and then we're gonna talk about all the amazing things that happen in this movie.
Spoilers.
Yeah, this is a spoiler review. Just this movie just came out. It's basically It's basically like I thought it was like just a fucking thing they made up.
Yeah.
Like a thing they made up to like just to make it like it's something that happened in between the first live action series. Mm-hmm. But it turns out it's actually adapted like of a short story of like the book series or whatever.
Probably shouldn't have been.
And basically the short plot summary is that it's basically just Little Mermaid. And here's even in the books, it's literally just Little Mermaid, but darker, and also Geralt's in it. Basically, Little Mermaid, and Geralt's there to stop the Little Mermaid War. That's basically the plot summary.
And also, want to just clarify this: we never read the books, not gonna, and don't argue with us.
We're not going to talk about the stuff that happened in the movie. First off,
it was dumb.
Yeah. I mean, I watched, like, in the beginning, I literally thought this movie was going to at least be somewhat decent. But
I thought as long as they took on this,
the further they went,
yeah,
I realized that it wasn't going to be good. Honestly, I almost fucking walked out twice.
And I will say, for a Witcher movie, or anything Witcher, it's pretty tame. And also kind of woke. I mean, I feel like the violent stuff that happens because it's a Witcher thing. Yeah,
it's animation. We have to,
but it doesn't
justify our budget somehow.
But the fight scenes aren't really that great.
Like
they're just kind of there.
Like this movie is basically, I think, worse than War of Heroes.
I honestly
think it would have been way worse. If this movie was in theaters, we probably would have walked out.
If we didn't have this YouTube channel, I wouldn't have watched this movie.
Yeah, like, and if it was on Netflix, I probably would have walked out because.
It also does also connect to the show because all the actors except Henry Cavill, he quit. But I mean, I guess they did have to use the original voice actor for Geralt. He's in here. That's the only good part, really.
Yeah. Yeah, like it took me a minute. I was like, "Is that him?" Like, what the fuck is that? And I'm like,
"No."
Oh wait, that's the guy from.
I looked it up though.
Yeah.
Everyone in the cast is from the show except him. So
I mean, I don't know. I mean, I guess it is kind of like a mix between the Netflix show and the books. But I think the book probably was a lot more interesting because this is literally like... By the way, the Little Mermaid stuff, they literally do
full-blown
one for one. Like, it's not like a dark version
it's one for
Little
one.
Mermaid. It's literally just like one for one, but like Geralt's there to cut off some
He's just shoehorned
fish
into
heads.
It. But there's really nothing different.
And also the fact that, like... Because the plot is also that there's a prince and a princess.
Yeah.
A human prince and a mermaid, which is a fish.
Princess.
Which is a fish! She has fins! She has a tail! She doesn't even have any boobs. Like, and it's about these two falling in love and trying to prevent a war. Even though the prince is just like, oh, I can make a tank for her. He's acting like
I want to bring this up real quick. So
I don't understand. this movie.
So, Geralt the Bard and I'm just gonna call her Little Eye.
Yeah, I mean that's kind of her name.
Well, whatever. That's a nickname for her. But they go to this place where they're at, the prince and the princess or whatever, and they're Geralt and whatever is speaking in the mermaid's language or whatever.
Yeah.
We find out that the prince doesn't know what the fuck she's even saying.
Because they had to have, like, an argument and then Geralt or whatever show up because they're just randomly on a hill somewhere. The prince and the mermaid princess are just talking. By the way, there's also a scene before this scene where they were talking back and forth very frequently.
And he knows what she's saying.
And then out of nowhere, Geralt and them show up, and it turns out that Little Eye can actually speak the language. Geralt can also speak the language, but nobody even mentions that because apparently Little Eye and the prince have some sort, I don't know if we talked over it, but they have some sort of weird relationship. I don't know if they were friends. I don't know if they were past lovers. But anyway,
I don't think it matters.
The prince is just like to Little Eye, he's like, hey, I need you to, negotiate or translate what she's saying or what I'm saying to her, even though he knows that he can understand her, and he talks to her as if he can understand her. But he's just like, can you...
It's like they had like two stories going on, like two scripts, and they erased some parts and then just mixed the scripts in with each other where we had one script where he could understand her, and then one script where he couldn't. And then they just mixed it in or whatever and just like what?
And also that's not also where it also doesn't make any fucking sense about their language, because by the way, they don't speak the fish people don't speak their language all the time. Literally, there's like one point where we go into the underwater city or whatever.
And they're just talking English. And then they switch back.
First, they talk in their language. And then all of a sudden, they just start talking everybody. There's even at some points where the aunt and the princess are literally talking to each other in English. And at one point, they talk into their language, and then they just start speaking English.
Yeah.
So, like, this shit is very inconsistent. I don't know when the fuck they can speak fucking English and when they can't.
And then we're like, all right, maybe they can only speak English in water. That is not true. That was even proven in the movie. So, I don't know what was going on with this movie.
I think it was
inconsistent.
I think it was just them not wanting to put subtitles in certain parts, and they just wanted us to pay attention to that.
They don't have a different fucking language.
Yeah, but they're like, no, we need to be authentic. And by the way, the Little Mermaid stuff,
they busted into full-blown, like, song and dance.
It wouldn't be such a shock to me if before that, if the only musical part wasn't the bard.
Yeah, that makes sense.
By the way, he already sings by himself. Like, he had like a little musical number with Little Eye, which I thought was normal because he does that shit in the show.
But it really...
but then all of a sudden, just imagine this. I'm sitting here just watching a Witcher show, and then all of a sudden, Little Mermaid show. They just start
turn to a Disney thing.
You need to take this potion.
You have like a bunch of like magical shit of like what the ant is basically supposed to just be Ursula.
Yeah, like Ursula or some shit. I don't know. But she's just like, you can take this potion and then you can fuck him as a human and then speak his language even though he can already understand you.
And then the potion never comes back into play until the end.
Until the end of the movie, which, by the way, makes even less fucking sense because guess what? Because like, his like dad, the prince's dad is like the king and he doesn't want him. to like have relations with a fish person anymore because I don't know, because they're people and you probably shouldn't have relations with fish. I'm sorry. I guess I'm the weirdo. But that's my stance on it. But anyway, moving on, he literally, like, it turns out the king is a bad guy and has been working with Ursula the whole fucking time. He's been working with the ant to kill his people and start a war that he obviously can't fucking win. So I don't even understand what the fuck that is. But then, I don't know, at the end, they all, like, fucking, they all stop the king, they stop the ant. Because apparently at one point she turns into a kraken and Geralt just like, he's like, oh wait, I'm a witcher.
But here's
and
the
kills
thing.
her.
This is the stupidest part. Well, I'm sorry, that wasn't the stupidest part. The musical shit was the stupidest part. But this was pretty on par. But
I mean,
she turns into a kraken on top of the ship.
Yeah, like,
Because and then proceeds to just do nothing but be a kraken and just kind of sit around.
yeah, and then she dies, and then literally, like, the movie's about to end, and then the son is just like, takes over the whole army, and he's like, all right, we need to move, we need to make things better. And then all of a sudden they just transition to a mermaid wedding where he's like about to go marry a mermaid, and then like they're kissing.
Yeah, his
and
dad's there too.
Yeah, and his dad's like, at least I guess we could keep the genes going. You gotta take that part. That doesn't even make any sense. Why did I say that? But anyway, he's like, maybe we could keep the gene pool going, if maybe I can eventually convince him to not have relations with a fish. But no, that doesn't happen, because guess what? The potion that the princess didn't even take the potion, by the way. He's like, okay, here, you take it. Gives it to the prince. She doesn't even know if it will kill him, but he just turns into a fish person.
He saves his dad or whatever. And mind you, this is the prince. He saves his dad, after the war or whatever, and brings him onto the boat. Could have let him drown. But saves him, and he's just like, yeah, and probably like a few weeks or whatever, they set up a wedding or whatever. Maybe a few days. I don't know. They didn't tell us how long has passed, but they're playing chess, and he's like, yeah, this is the life, or whatever. And then he invites him to his wedding, and then he takes the fucking medicine, and he's just like, fuck you, Dad. And then turns into a fish.
And then just says, fuck his people.
Yeah, basically, and just
leaves his dad to, like, do whatever he wants. And by the way, his dad literally turns around because Geralt and the bard are leaving, and we literally see the father, like the king, put barrels of poison onto the ships, meaning that they're gonna poison, like, most of the water and just kill his son. Screw it. And by the way, this movie is also about the bard and Geralt getting away from Yennefer.
Didn't watch
for some weird reason.
I stopped at season 2, probably the first 1 or 2 episodes, and I was just like, nah, I'm done. And especially after I heard they were canceling it.
Like I said, I think it was just based more off the book, but I guess they probably took the template of the characters, like the personalities and everything, from
this was not worth watching.
Existing shit like the games and the show, but took the plot from the book, which
also
just made a hodgepodge of bullshit. They kept teasing something with Little Eye, like they kept covering her eye. Because they even had a flashback where she had both of her eyes not covered.
She just has a normal eye.
And they're like, hey, there's something going on with her eye. Because they're like, there's the whole time, you're like, oh, maybe she's lost an eye or something. But then at the end, Geralt just cuts her hair, and it just reveals that she has normal eyes, and that I guess Geralt wants to have relations with her.
Also,
and they have relations with each other.
But guess what? You might as well be watching. No, we're not trying to be weird here, but you might as well be just watching like a PG-13 movie, to be honest, because they'll show blood. They won't show nudity though.
I mean, there was.
But we'll
one
see
part,
Gerald. We'll see Gerald Bush.
I mean, there was one part where they. But, I mean, it was a dream sequence, so I guess it doesn't really technically count.
But it's PG-13 still, basically. Kind of stuff. For The Witcher, and it's animated. What the fuck are we doing?
Nothing.
Nothing. We're doing nothing.
I'm going to continue to do nothing and give this a 4.
Like, this is a nothing just kind of film, and it was weird seeing, like, them bust into, like, a musical.
Like, this
Like,
movie's
what?
premise is just weird, because it's really just like, it's like a prince, he's like, I just want to have relations with a fish. Like, what the guys, come on. Anyway, that will be, The Witcher! Woo! For
Okay.
The Witcher! Give your coins to The Witcher! Thank you for watching! There's a video over there.
You bastard.
There's
a video over there?
There's a video over there. And, yeah, give a coin to your Witcher, and we'll see you guys in the next one. Bye.
Huzzah.
Huzzah!